Hey friends, welcome to the Fastly Learn, the place where powerful book lessons turn into life-changing motivation. Here, we break down the world's best books in simple language, so you can learn faster, grow smarter, and move one step closer to success every single day. So get ready, because your journey to unstoppable knowledge starts right now. Friend, in school, we were taught to work hard, get good grades, and land a secure job. But no one ever taught us how to become rich. That's the same mistake Robert Kiyosaki made, and later corrected, because Robert had two fathers. One was highly educated but broke, the other a school dropout, yet a millionaire businessman. And between these two men began a lifelong battle of ideas, the battle between security and freedom, between the employee mindset and the entrepreneur mindset. Lesson 1. The rich don't work for money. They make money work for them. When Robert was just 9 years old, he and his best friend Mike decided they wanted to be rich. So, they went to Mike's father, the rich dad, and asked how. Rich Dad didn't hand them a lecture. He gave them a job. Twice a week, in his small convenience store, stacking newspapers, cleaning, organizing, all for just a few cents. After 3 weeks, Robert was frustrated. He worked hard but earned almost nothing. So, he confronted Rich Dad, angry and confused. Rich Dad smiled and said, "If you work only for money, you'll spend your life being controlled by fear. Fear of losing your job. Fear of running out of cash. That fear will keep you running in the same race forever, the rat race." Then he gave them a new challenge: work without any pay. Robert was shocked, but he accepted. That was the moment his mindset began to change. Without pay, Robert and Mike started thinking differently. They noticed piles of old comic books thrown away in the store. They collected them, cleaned them, and built a mini comic book library in Robert's basement. Kids paid 10 cents to read comics for 2 hours. Robert and Mike didn't sit there. Mike's sister managed the place. And the money? It kept coming in, even while they were out playing. That was Robert's first lesson in wealth. Build assets. Don't just work for income. Assets are things that make money for you even when you're not working. Poor Dad said, "Get a good job and earn a salary." Rich Dad said, "Create something that works for you even when you sleep."
Lesson 2. Financial literacy matters, and schools don't teach it. Rich Dad always told Robert, "It's not about how much money you make. It's about how well you manage it." Poor Dad believed in degrees and government jobs. He thought money meant salary, and savings meant keeping it in a bank. But Rich Dad saw money as a tool. One day he asked Robert, "If you had $1,000, what would you do?" Robert said, "I'd keep it in the bank." Rich Dad laughed. Putting money in a bank means letting it sleep. You have to make it move, make it grow. He took Robert and Mike to see an old rundown store. Everyone called it junk, but Rich Dad said, "I see gold here." He imagined an ice cream parlor, a few arcade games, and a small sitting area for kids. Within months, it became the most popular hangout in town. That's when Robert finally understood what financial literacy really means. It's about seeing opportunity where others see trash. Rich Dad taught him, anyone can earn money, but the real skill is to multiply it. Understand how cash flows, how investments grow, how taxes work. Schools don't teach that, yet it's the foundation of true wealth. So far, Robert had learned 2 priceless truths. Don't chase money. Make money chase you. Don't just earn, learn how money works. But the story doesn't stop here, because the next lesson completely changed how Robert built his fortune. By now, Robert had already started seeing money differently, but Rich Dad had another powerful lesson waiting, one that most people never understand until it's too late.
Lesson 3. Mind your own business. Rich Dad often said, "Your job may feed you, but your business will free you." When Robert grew up, he landed a solid job at Xerox. Great salary, great benefits. To most people, it was the dream. But to Robert, it was just temporary fuel. He used his paycheck to build something bigger. Every evening after work, while his friends relaxed, Robert studied real estate. On weekends, he visited properties, learned about investments, and closed small deals. His friends laughed. "Why hustle so hard, man? You've already got a good job." But Robert knew, a job only gives short-term income. Wealth comes from building something you own. After a few years, Robert left his job and went all in on his business. And that's when his real journey to financial freedom began. Rich Dad's voice echoed in his head. Don't spend your life building someone else's dream. Use your job to build the foundation for your own. Most people think a steady job means security, but the truth is that security keeps them trapped. Rich Dad taught that true security comes when your assets pay your bills, not your boss. So remember, work your job, but build your business. Use your job as a stepping stone, not a destination. Lesson 4. The rich understand taxes and corporations. Now came a lesson that shocked Robert completely. The truth about how the rich legally pay less tax than most employees. Growing up, Robert had always heard his poor dad say, "Paying taxes is our duty. It's what good citizens do every month." His poor dad's paycheck got sliced. Taxes first, bills later. But Rich Dad asked him one day, "Do you know why the rich pay less tax?" Robert had no idea. Rich Dad smiled and drew a simple diagram on a whiteboard. On one side, employee arrow income arrow taxes arrow expenses. On the other side, corporation arrow income arrow expenses arrow taxes. That tiny difference changed everything. Poor Dad earned, paid taxes, and then tried to live on what was left. Rich Dad earned through his corporation, paid all business expenses first, travel, meals, equipment, and only then paid tax on the remaining profit. And that's how the wealthy legally keep more of what they earn. The system was designed by the rich, for the rich. Rich Dad said, "If you don't learn the rules, you'll always be a player in someone else's game." This wasn't about cheating the system. It was about understanding it. Rich Dad taught that the rich don't just earn money. They use knowledge, strategy, and law to protect it and multiply it. While most people say, "That's unfair," the rich say, "That's education." Robert realized something powerful that day. It's not how much you make, it's how much you keep. And if you don't learn the rules of money, you'll always be ruled by those who do. Robert's understanding of wealth was growing fast. He now knew how to build assets, run his own business, and protect his income. But there was still one thing left to master: the battle between fear, greed, and emotion. Robert had already learned how money works, how to build assets, and how to protect his income. But there was still one thing holding most people back from true wealth: their own emotions. Lesson 5. The rich control their emotions. The poor are controlled by them. One day, Rich Dad asked Robert, "What are you most afraid of?" Robert replied, "Losing money." Rich Dad smiled and said, "That's the same fear that keeps 90% of people poor. Because when people are afraid of losing, they stop trying. They take jobs they hate, stay in debt, and trade their dreams for security. Fear of loss and greed for more. These two emotions silently control most lives." Robert remembered when he and Mike got a high-paying job offer in another city. More money, better lifestyle. It sounded perfect. But when he spoke to Rich Dad about it, he asked only one question. "Are you saying yes because of freedom or because of fear?" That one question changed Robert's life. He realized most people make financial decisions not from logic, but from fear of losing or greed for gaining. Rich Dad said, "Fear whispers, 'What if the money runs out?' Greed shouts, 'I need more, I need more.' And both voices keep people trapped in the same cycle forever. That's the rat race. Working harder, earning more, spending more, and never escaping. The wealthy, on the other hand, learn to stay calm when everyone else panics. They study the market, not their emotions. They make money their servant, not their master." Rich Dad always said, "Emotional intelligence is financial intelligence." If you can't control your feelings about money, money will always control your life. Poor Dad used to say, "Money is the root of all evil." Rich Dad disagreed. "No," he said, The lack of money is the root of all evil. Robert finally understood. The goal isn't to suppress your emotions, it's to understand them. Use them as signals, not as steering wheels. Because true freedom begins when you control your mind before money controls you. Lesson 6. The rich talk about money. The poor avoid it. Growing up, Robert noticed something strange. Whenever he talked about money with his poor dad, his father would say, "That's not something polite people discuss." But Rich Dad encouraged the opposite. If you're afraid to talk about money, money will always stay afraid to come near you. One day at school, Robert gave a class presentation about money management. The kids laughed. Even the teacher said, "That's not part of our syllabus." Robert went home embarrassed, but Rich Dad smiled. "The world will always discourage you from talking about money," he said, "because the less you know about it, the easier you are to control." He pushed Robert to join a public speaking club, Toastmasters. There, Robert learned to speak clearly, confidently, and persuasively. Years later, those same skills helped him write and share his ideas with millions. His book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, became a global phenomenon, sold in over 100 countries and changed the financial destiny of millions. Because Rich Dad's final lesson was simple: don't fear financial education, embrace it. The more you learn, the more you earn. And the more you talk about money, the more clarity you gain about your own goals. Final reflection. Which dad's path will you follow? At the end of his journey, Robert realized something powerful. Both of his fathers loved him. Both wanted him to succeed, but one wanted him to play it safe. The other wanted him to become free. Poor Dad said, "Get a good job, save money, and stay comfortable." Rich Dad said, "Build assets, take risks, and make money work for you." And that's the real difference between being comfortable and being wealthy. So ask yourself, will you keep running in the same rat race, working for money, chasing paychecks, and fearing what comes next? Or will you step out, learn the rules of money, build assets, invest in yourself, and create a system where money works for you? Because at the end of the day, you decide who you become, the poor dad or the rich dad. Key takeaways: don't work for money, make it work for you. Build assets, not liabilities. Learn financial literacy, mind your own business, control your emotions, talk about money, learn about it, and grow. If this message resonated with you, remember, financial freedom starts with awareness. Learn, apply, grow, and never stop investing in yourself.